CSC having brought electricity to this city first, and as I understand, to the country first, for which we have received an IEEE certification. So that building currently is platinum rated, and then we have a chalk meat substation where we recently, in our again sustainability drive, created a floating grid, which is also one of its first kind in this city, and that substation also is platinum rated. Am I right? So in that effort, this is a journey. It doesn't happen in a day. So in this journey, today where we are sitting here, we are lucky that it's a green building, and it is gold rated by USGBC, that is US Building for Green Council, green buildings, and it involves a lot of things, having a solar rooftop, having rainwater harvesting, that is water management, having having waste management processes, and also having a real-time data analytics on the energy use of the building. So all of these are being done to ensure that we optimize the energy that we use for our own building consumption. So this is a great movement. This is a journey which CSC wants to be proud of. And as I said, it is our moral responsibility to, power a sustainable future. And in this process, it is very important that we demonstrate, what we say. And this journey of making our buildings cleaner and greener is an effort towards that, is a milestone towards that. So going forward, we would, work on many other premises or buildings that we have and create a building that is green. For the information of all of you, let me tell you that when we talk on the environment and clean and green, please remember that buildings per se have a lot of greenhouse gas emissions. They contribute to a lot of CO2 emissions. So that is one of the reasons that we have a moral responsibility to ensure that all the buildings and the premises which we have, we ensure that they are clean and they do not pollute the atmosphere. So in the process, we also have embarked on ensuring and co-creating a network infrastructure for electric vehicles in the city. This city has about 75 electric buses, which is already plying, and the city plans to have 1,000 more electric buses. So we are co-creating with the administration and the transport department the electrical infrastructure required to power this electric vehicle charging station for these buses at their various garages and depots. We also had created 3 electric vehicle public charging stations a couple of years back, and we are working towards transforming our own captive transport fleet to electric vehicles. And all of this, why? Because normal conventional fossil fuel vehicles or IC vehicles, they create a lot of pollution. The pollution means PM 2.5, PM 10 for, and we know that we are all wearing masks. The reason is there's a lot of pollution. But in an electric vehicle, whether it's a two-wheeler, whether it's a three-wheeler or a four-wheeler, it is zero tailpipe emission, and the operating costs are much lower. So while we work on the three pillars of enhancing operational efficiency, optimizing the cost to serve our consumers and enhance our consumer experience and the city experience, we have embarked on this journey. Another point I would like to say, because when we are talk on sustainability as a whole, that a lot of pollution is also created by different forms of fuels being used for cooking. Cooking is a very basic need of a human, and whether you cook in the open road eateries, or you cook in your residence, or you cook in the hotels or communities, or the commercial and the industrial complexes, we have been working towards creating awareness with all the people who do cooking to convert into electric cooking, because electric cooking per se is cleaner, it is safer, and is affordable. So what I was trying to tell you, this is the entire part of the journey, and in this journey, whenever we import power from the power exchange, we try to import green power, because today the green power which is produced all over the country, it comes to the exchange, and from the power exchange we take green power on term ahead market, and in future it will be day ahead market. So the power which we import generally is not brown power anymore, it's green power. So as a whole, we are trying to ensure that we make the system more sustainable, and obviously in the process of making sustainable, we have started out our storage also. When I was talking about microgrid, what is a microgrid? Microgrid is a self-generating unit. In Chakmir it is a floating solar, and there is a energy storage. So whenever the sun is shining, it captures it charges the solar panel, receive the charge, and it produces electricity. And whenever the sun is not shining, the storage stores which has stored the power from the solar energy, discharges and gives power. We also had put up a storage in Kakurgachi. Why is this being done? Because as I say, that the four megatrends which are impacting the globe and our country are the 4 Ds. The first D being digitalization, the second being decarbonization, the third being decentralization, and the fourth being disaster management. Now, when I talked on all these efforts of sustainability, I talked on decarbonization. When I talked on microgrid, I talked on storage, I talked on decentralization. And in the whole process, in future, it may so happen that a lot of conversion of energy to green energy happens, and at that point of time, you must have seen a lot of solar rooftops also come up in our city, for which we, help them by facilitating the right metering. So whenever a lot of people, there's a concept that previously the concept was a centralized power generation. Slowly it is becoming decentralized. By that what I mean, that everybody is trying to produce their own power in their own means. It not be 100%, but whatever percentage it is. So that is becoming decentralized power generation, and by that the concept of a producer, a user, and a prosumer, that means a person who produces power and uses power, that's a prosumer. So whenever this the entire ecosystem is like that, we are testing out a platform known as blockchain, which is obviously one of its kind, to ensure in this decentralized era in the future, we can become a part of that value chain and maybe facilitate as a system integrator a peer-to-peer trading. Trading, that means when the person needs power, at what time he needs power, he needs the conventional power, he needs the renewable power, but then there is an entire blockchain is a encrypted decentralized ledger mechanism by which these kind of trading can happen. So what I was telling you is that whether it is in terms of customer or whether it is in terms of our own selves, these parameters are becoming very important. And for example, when we put up this sensor based kind of system through IoT as per Industry 4.0 in all our devices, which relay real-time data, and we transforming ourselves to a predictive maintenance, or whenever we do a self-healing, or whenever we do other immersive experience, etc. These are all attained towards ensuring that our consumers get 24/7 uninterrupted power, because consumer is what is the supreme thing, and we all look towards satisfying our consumers. So point is, when we work towards this journey, we also remember that disaster has become quite common because of the rapid climate change. We all faced an Amphan in 2020, and within a year we also faced Yas, and some time ago there was a signal of Oshoni. The point is, whenever these climate changes, disaster become more and more frequent, we need to design disaster management, which I said, the 4D, a resilient network which would ensure that whenever we face such uncertainties from the climate, whether it's a thunderstorm or a cyclone, we are able to restore back power at the fastest possible instance. In Amphan, obviously, we created a global record by restoring power within a week's time, and that happened because all of the team which is in our organization has worked shoulder to shoulder for 16 to 18 hours a time. So the commitment which we have as an organization, the spirit and the passion which we have as a team has led CSC to be not only building on the legacies of 120 years, but also trying to be relevant for another century ahead. So when we want to become a utility, a digital utility for the future and stay relevant for another century, we need to absorb or adopt all the cutting edge technologies, a few of them which I mentioned. I forgot to mention maybe the chat bot, the voice bot, and the WhatsApp bot for the consumers, but there are so many. I can't take every name of every process or the adoption which we have done. But point is, we all must work towards transforming our utility, which we are proud of, as we have received a recognition from IEEE. We must also go on getting recognitions for being the first utility to adopt breakthrough, cutting edge, disruptive, innovative technologies. And you must all know that we have filed for a lot of patents in this space. So whether it is the technology, whether it is the services which we consume, even whether it is the loss control which we do, we have changed over years. We have adopted new technologies, and these all technologies are smart technologies which ensure that our network becomes pilfer proof, even if we don't have maybe the conditions to do raids. So all these are towards working and making our company create an ecosystem in the place we operate to be more sustainable. So I think with that I will end my deliberation here, that yes, we are committed as CSC, as a company, to power a sustainable future, create a positive societal impact, and do all that is possible to save our planet and people. Thank you.
Sir, thank you for your valuable inputs. This will help us in future definitely to achieve more green buildings and sustainable future for